Basically, my story is kind of complicated. The 90s was a really good time to be sort of coming of age in film and getting back into it, because the 90s just had amazing films. And so I was working at a video store, and on the one hand, I really latched on to the movies of Robert De Niro, who, you know, it's impossible to be a fan of movies without, you know, being a fan of De Niro. I was renting like five videos like a day and just eating them up. And then I thought I was going to be a filmmaker. I went back to school, and I realized that I could actually finish my degree and take advantage of just watching a lot of films too. So I realized when I went to get my master's degree at University of British Columbia in Canada, there was another person who actually wanted to come in and do the exact same thesis as me. So we thought instead of competing, we would just actually collaborate, and it took us longer than we thought. But you know, at the end of the day, we actually ended up writing a book together, and I finished that before I finished my dissertation. When I applied to the University of Texas, there was just a particular guy that I wanted to work with, one of the great scholars in the field. His name's Tom Schatz, and he's a very famous historian. And as a result of the Ransom Center's growing film archives, the year that I got to UT, De Niro had donated all of his papers. So I got there the year that they were becoming public. Now, I happen to just believe in following dumb luck occasionally. You just kind of have to keep your eyes and ears open and see what the opportunities are. And although it was kind of on my radar, I didn't really realize that I wanted to work on it until I got into the archive. So I ended up being one of the first people to get to look at this amazing trove of film history. As a result, I did an assignment early on in my PhD on Martin Scorsese and De Niro's collaboration, and one of the files I looked at is on Casino, and Casino is a really interesting movie because there's about 10 or 11 versions of the script, and De Niro as a screenwriter is not really someone that we knew a lot about. Actually, we didn't know anything about him at that time. You know, the amazing thing about this is these letters to De Niro, which are really pushback from the screenwriter Nicholas Pileggi, because De Niro is just apparently at a certain point in the screenwriting process, he's showing up as this character into these story meetings and asking things in the script to be changed. And I just thought, well, this is too crazy a topic not to pursue. I have to be the guy who researches this. And from there, I really just spent the next 5 years. I'm on year 7 of looking at these papers. And I think I know the story of the documents tell me, and I'm just trying to do my best to translate them into a coherent story that's contributes to the field. And I'm trying to write De Niro back into that story. Because he ends up being a really pivotal figure, you know, for a lot of reasons.